So we are here at my 1/64 scale diorama and we're at the farm because the next thing I want to be doing here is adding more crops. Since I made this farm, it has only had about 20 crops and that needs to change. So over here I've got some tobacco. That's out of focus. There we go. So my plan is to at least probably fill this field with tobacco. And so that's what I'm going to be doing next here. I'm going to show how I make these tobacco plants right after this. Okay, so we're here at the craft station. I know you probably saw we were doing the diorama there, but no, don't worry, diorama video's coming up soon. Okay, so for this craft, we're making tobacco. So we're using these wooden stick things I got from dollar store, and we're using these things my girlfriend cut out with a Cricut machine. It's just kind of a leaf looking thing for the task together. Now if you don't have a Cricut machine, you're kind of screwed. Or you could try and cut these out by hand out of a thicker kind of construction paper. But anyway, I'm just mainly showing how I do the tobacco plants on my farm. The ones that you just saw are the ones that are made this way. So I start out with what I need is green paint, yellow paint, and some glue. That's about it. So let's get some green paint to start. That's what the base coat of all these are going to be. So what I'm going to do is just paint all these green. It's going to take a while. Not going to be fun. Not going to enjoy it. It sucks. It sucks a lot. But it needs to happen. And so here we go. I'll paint them all up. So as you can see, I'm just painting these with the green, and I move them around so they don't get stuck in the paint, because well, I kept having the problem of they would get stuck to the paper, so I eventually learned to keep moving them around as they dry. And this took quite a while. This took me 30 minutes to paint all these leaves. There we have it. They're all green. And I've got them all displayed nicely. And now we're going to add some yellow. So kind of like a dry brush. And so just hit them a little bit with yellow. Don't get too much yellow on your brush. And I'm just simply gonna randomly hit them places with some yellow, because these plants are getting close to done. You know, we're priming them. We're already going through on the farm, and we're taking the bottom leaves, and so that they're already being, you know, they're supposed to be done. That's why I'm doing them brown, a bit brown, yellow. I've got the color yellow, or the amount of yellow I like. So now I'm going to cut the holes. I'm just going to put a little slit where I'm going to stick the stalk through. So just sticking the X-Acto blade through right in the middle, not too close to an edge, because then you'll have them ripping. I mean, you're gluing them to the stalk anyway, so it doesn't matter too much if they rip, but it's best not to have them rip. And that's about it. And then we're on to the next step. I will be right back after puncturing all 100 of these. I don't know how many there are, but geez Louise, it takes so long. Yeah, be right back. So I've got the holes all cut out. I'm going to put these aside now. I'm done with them for a little bit. Now I got to get my stalks. So, got to kind of estimate how many you'll need. I don't know how many plants there are there. Probably 20. So I'm going to cut out 20 of my stalks from these. What I do, I just take my X-Acto knife and cut these thinner, and all the edges kind of off of them. That just kind of leaves you with a little stalk. You just whittle it down and you get a little stalk. There we go. There's one. And just keep on going. And, you know, make a couple different heights maybe. So, you know, when you do ones around things that get shade a lot, then you do the smaller plants. There's cats just jumping around. If you hear that. Sorry. Yeah, so you just make them kind of around the same height. But again, if you have different heights, don't worry about it too much. And of course, make it kind of pointed at the end, because you're going to want to stab your tobacco plant down onto it. So you're going to sis kebab your tobacco plant. Sorry for the jumpy camera. I mean, some of them aren't going to work out, but just make a bunch. Make more than you need, and just pick the ones you like. And just whittle in. Now, the best way to do this is you go out to your front porch and you get your rocking chair and you whittle that way. You gotta sit and rock back and forth and just get your motion down a lot better. You get your old shotgun out. Shoot at the neighbor kids. Yeah, so it's going to take a while. Everything takes a long time making these things. They're beautiful tobacco though. I really like the way they look. And there's not really any other way to do it. If you 3D print them, then they just look manufactured, you know? They just look fake. And doing it this way makes them look a lot more legit. You'll see in the end. We will be back at the diorama at the end of the video, and I'll show you what they're going to look like planted. Oh man, so many. 20 of these. Come on. It's okay. It's fine. Then we're going to paint these like... Oh, where'd that one go? Huh. Oh, there it is. Yeah, and then we're going to paint them green and yellow again before we sis kebab them. Before we sis kebab our tobacco plant leaves onto them. And yeah, so you're just kind of getting off all the square edges. It's mainly what you're doing. That way, they don't look like a post, you know. These are probably the best things to use. I can't really think of anything else to use. Popsicle sticks would be the same amount of effort. So just use these. And I mean, most people have these for fence posts for their farm. So they're a good thing to use for this. If you're making some tobacco plants. I mean, not many people have tobacco plants on their dioramas, I noticed. Why don't you just add a couple to your garden? How about that? Add some tobacco plants to your garden on your diorama. if you have a diorama, a farm diorama, and you don't have tobacco plant in your garden, there's something wrong with you. You know? I mean, you're not growing it to smoke necessarily, but you should be growing it just to keep experienced at it. I don't know what I'm going on about. I don't care if you grow tobacco in your garden or not. But you should. This is turning out great. Honestly, it's working out. These are looking legit looking stalks. These are going to be probably only three of my plants high, like 3 of the leaves high. Only, you know, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 on some. They're not gonna, I guess my excuse will be they've already been primed, you know, like the leaves have already been taken off some of the sections. And you still gotta take off the top leaves and the, you know, the leaves below the top leaves and the leaf below the top leaves. If you know what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying, so I doubt you do. Oh, jeez Louise. Okay, I'm just gonna come back. Instead of ranting on about nothing, because this video is already gonna be way too long. I honestly don't know how I'm gonna have to whittle down this video, just like I'm whittling these. Alright guys, I'll be right back with all these cut. It took me quite a while to whittle all these down, but I've got about, I don't know, 18 maybe? 18 to 20? Really doesn't look like that, so maybe I don't, but let's get these painted green. And it's gonna do it at math. And then we're gonna just hit it with bits of yellow, just like the leaves. And then we're able to stick all those leaves on I have to the one side. Look at those leaves. They're already looking so good. And they're not even bent yet. After I get them on to the stalks, that's when I'm going to bend them to make them come to life, really. And now just brush on some yellow. Really doesn't matter how much. If you overdo it, who cares? You know, I'll just do it in math. Just sloppily put on some yellow to your stalks. Beautiful. There we have it. In a couple seconds, I'll be right back after they dry. Let's get all these tobacco leaves onto our stalks now that they're all lovely painted, nice and detailed. I don't know how easy this is going to be. The stalks are pretty thick. Oh, this isn't going to be easy. Get down on there. There's one. Jeez Louise, I have 100 of those. Oh man. This sucks. So yes, I don't recommend this craft, but it is necessary for really gorgeous looking crops, tobacco plants. I don't think you can top these, really. I just hope you don't break the stick after you've like made it all the way to the last one. I'm doing 3 rows of leaves on there. Look at that. That's actually sick. Where's the camera? Somewhere around there. Look at that. And later I will, you know, shape the leaves to how I want. But that's it. And then, you know, I'll do it as I go. Or should I wait till after? I don't know. Basically don't even need some. Oh geez, way too much. I think this step's optional, but it just makes them a little more secure if you do some little glue dabs there. That's fine. So this whole craft has been a chore. You know, honestly, it's not fun. And when it comes to crafting, you want the thing to be fun. And this craft is not. So, just so you know. Ah, get on there. What is that? Okay, this one. Jeez Louise. Is it just getting one? No, get on there. I don't know what's stopping it from getting down there. Oh, jeez Louise. Okay, that shaft is just crap. It's screwing us over. I think some of these are too thick, so you really gotta shave these shafts down. You gotta whittle them down to little thin toothpick size things, even thinner than toothpick. I think I'd start with a toothpick instead of those things that I was using. Yeah, or just use a toothpick so you don't have to whittle them down at all. This stupid craft. This is a dumb one. Never doing these again. What is it? Hopefully this fills the... It's not going to fill that field, but I am switching crops to something else, so... This, you know... Maybe I will 3D print me some crops. Because I'm not going to fill all my fields this way. There's another one. That's good enough. Oh, lovely. Okay, that's why you need the glue. Some of them are going to tear. And just glue that on sloppily. Get on there. Okay, good enough. You know, they're all beat up and crappy looking. All my plants look like they've been run over by the tractor a billion times, so what do you do, you know? In real life, I think the farmer would take a little more pride in his crops and not run them over so much. Okay, this one's only getting a couple. Well, on my farm, the farmer must be drunk half the time or something. I don't know. He just doesn't care for his crops too well, so they're all janked. They're all flattened and missing leaves before the end of the season. I mean, Raymond doesn't drink, but maybe his sons are all drunk when they're doing the farm work and they're just running over all the crops their father was working hard to grow. That's 3. I mean, they're looking good. I don't know if you can see them over there. They're at the top of the screen and really far away. Okay. Well, they look like crap. But let me just get these together. And then we'll bend all the leaves so they look more realistic. Quite some time later. It took a while, but we're here. We're nearing the end. And now I've got them to this point here where I now take my tweezers and I'm just gonna basically pinch them random spots, and that will just make them look more real. I just squeeze them. You could bend them too sometimes. Bend them randomly. Bend leaves ends up and just go around and crush the leaves. Make them all wrinkled looking. Well, they're pretty sturdy at this point with all the paint. So there we have it. Got 2 more. Look at that. You just gotta do that 20 more times. The joys of crafting. 20 more times. I tell you, this craft has had me contemplating a lot of things. It's one of those crafts. It just got so long doing these things that you just start contemplating. Why am I bending all these leaves? This is 100 or so leaves at the end of it. Why am I bending 100 or so leaves? Why don't I just 3D print this? You know, contemplating things like that. Or more dark things like, I do have a window. Is it large enough if I open the window to get out of? You know, because I'm going to jump out of it. You know, contemplating things. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze all these off of camera, or this video is going to be longer than 30 minutes. So, be right back. And then actually, we're going to be at the Diorama next clip. And we're going to plant these. See what they look like. Okay, just planting these real quick. Raymond's doing it. Planting fully planted tobacco crops. And finally, there we have it. It took a long time, but there they are. Love it. It really finished off that corner. Just look at that. Sweet. Alright guys, that's how I do tobacco. And as always, thanks for tuning in.